welcome back.
Hello.
To our podcast, Motherhood. We hope you guys had a good 4th of July. And if the kids were bad and they were screaming and...
It's their dad's genes.
It's their daddy's fault. Amen. I'm like,
it's their dad's genes.
It's their dad's fault. You are a good mom, and I hope you at least had 1 or 2 wine coolers while you were out there in the heat. But yeah,
some burgers.
Yeah, I know. We
love doing that.
Hell yeah. But welcome back to episode 3. I know last episode was pretty heavy. You know, me and Brittany just kind of sharing our own motherhood experience and what that's looked like for us, and really navigating like motherhood, womanhood, single momhood, like divorce, all the shit that goes into
everything
goes into it. But for this episode, if you watched last episode, we kind of want to kick it off with the honest mom friend. And it's funny because I had a few people be like, what do you mean the honest mom friend? And I'm like,
you don't have one then.
You don't have one?
I'm need to get you one.
Who gonna tell her? I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, you need one then.
You need one. No, truly. And so here's the thing is like, when I brought up that friend, right, who, and I kind of said in my last podcast, I'm like, this isn't the only time she's been honest with me. That's the truth. Like, she's told me some hard truths. And, okay, I'll say everyone in my mom friend group has the opposite issue where you girls are too honest. It's true. Y'all,
especially me.
Especially you. I'm like, if I want to hear it like it is, I'll just call you. And will my feelings be hurt? Maybe. But will I get my shit together afterwards? 100%.
Yeah. You, Brittany, don't judge me now. And then you tell me, and I was like, that's it? I was like, I thought it was something crazy. Like,
oh, girl, that's nothing.
I was like, oh, that ain't nothing. I was like, I'll just start so wild.
Right. But that's the thing, too, is like, I think when you have that honest mom, I don't think it's a true friend, just in womanhood or motherhood in general, if they're not willing to tell you like it is.
I was about to say, somebody who always covers up your BS is kind of like those parents who are like, it's not my kid. It's never my kid.
Never mind, Stacy.
I know. And you're just like, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
You are part of the problem,
yes. And so that particular friend who was like, I encourage you to go to church and you've been far from what you need to be in the peace in your life. She's also the one who, and this is what we really are going to talk about in today's episode, is just dating as a mom, as a single mom. You know, I shared a little bit about Jed's dad and all that shit. And I'm still, I mean, to this day, like the co-parenting is just not there. It sucks. But you know what? She was honest with me in the beginning.
Yeah.
She told me straight up when I had the purple hair, she was like, you are not healed. You need to really spend time on yourself. And I did, but I was still actively looking and on the dating apps and dating and shit.
Dating apps. Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I won't get on another one. I can't.
Dude, it makes me cringe.
Yeah. I met Jed's dad on a dating app, and for any woman who ever swipes right on him and thinks she's found the man of her dreams, girl, please know that no animosity. I love you actually more than him. I pray for you. Like, don't have kids with him. Like, take me as your example. If you're like, hey, so I'm going to be like, he sucks. And if he hasn't showed you yet, he'll show you eventually. But that's the thing is, I wasn't healed. She was honest with me. I did, and we talked about that last episode, the two sides of the coin. I was not healed even in just myself as a woman or a mom because I couldn't even take that feedback. It's not like it was negative. Did you get defensive? No, I don't think I got defensive because I'll say this, the way that particular friend always is honest, like it's like so loving and motherly and like, oh, like I care about you. And so you can't. So
not like me.
Not like you. Yeah, with you sometimes I'll be like, bitch.
My South Austin comes out so quick. I'm like, actually, I've been meaning to tell you. Sorry.
And I'm like, okay. But no, she's just very like in her like, she's like the very opposite of us.
Motherly.
She's just so motherly. Even before she had her baby, she was so motherly.
Oh, I love people like that though.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love her too. So I could never even be mad at her, but I just wouldn't listen. I'd be like, yeah, girl, I know, I hear you. And she'd be like,
that's Brianna with me. She's like,
Brianna.
She's like, so I'm going to say it like 5 more times, right? I'm like, probably.
And Brianna's also very naturally motherly.
She is, yeah.
She is. Like, I feel like...
But it's because she took care of her nieces and nephews whenever her sister was, like, couldn't get her shit together. So, you know.
Right.
So she was already a mom before she was a mom.
Right.
So.
And I think, like, even, too, like, with Brianna, like, that's what I'm saying. I have multiple honest mom friends. Like, I could come to you if I want it straight. Mm-hmm. Like, no chaser. I'm going to take it down the hatch. How is it? You're going to be like, that man sucks.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. But Brianna will be very much like, well, I'm glad you came to me because I have had some concerns. And let me get some coffee for us. She's like nurturing you. She's like, sit on my couch. Here's a blanket. Here's some coffee. Like,
yeah,
kind of shit.
Are you hungry?
Oh
yeah,
like,
especially.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like, let's rally up the troops. We're going out at some point. Everybody needs a babysitter.
I like text you. I'm like, hey, can you talk immediately on my fucking car phone thing? It's
I'm like, what's up?
You're like, hey, what happened? I'm like, well, I wasn't prepared to. I'm like,
now?
nervous.
Like right now?
It's like the mom versus the dad. Like, you could tell your mom shit, but you're like, fuck, I gotta tell my dad. Like,
he's gonna whoop me.
He's gonna fucking whoop my ass. Like, yeah. It's like that. But you know what? Like, had I listened to her in that time, and I don't regret Jed at all. Like, that's one thing I'll always say. I don't regret Jed. I did want to have more children. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to have one more, and I really wanted a boy, and I was lucky enough to get a boy. And I just felt very blessed, and Jed just adds so much value to my life. But had I listened, I would have saved myself a lot of heartache and turmoil. Like, to this day. Because a lot of women don't...
If you would have just healed first before getting on a dating app?
Yeah, or just listen to a lot of my friends who were just trying to approach me where I wasn't listening to myself. So they were like, I gotta get in here and help her out. Like, I can't let her... But then again, we're all our own persons. So even if they're like... shoveling out the buckets of water, I'm still fucking pouring that bitch back in. I'm on the other side of the boat. Like, no, I want to do this. I want to date. I want to go on the dating apps. I was in a marriage for 7 years. I don't want to do that anymore. And then, you know.
It happened again.
Again. Yeah, it did. It was really, really hard.
Yeah, I think that's why I've been single for over a year and 3 months, something like that, a year and a half. And I just could not fathom being in a relationship right now. Like, I have so much... like stuff to do between me and the kiddos that I'm just like, nope. If I meet somebody out and about though, I feel like that'd be totally different and we might could see in the future, but like I'm not about to get on any dating app whatsoever.
I can't do the dating apps anymore. Like I know what's on the apps and I hate to be ugly because you know what? I think there's genuinely some good guys on there who maybe are like, well, let's just see. But
or too shy to go to the like out and about like the arcades or go to play pool, and so this is how they meet people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think that could be it. But 98% of what's on there.
Damn.
98%.
Where did you get that?
It's the statistic that I made up in my head just now.
I was like, where did you hear that?
The statistic that I made up just now. It's true though. I'm like, a good majority of them are like just, oh Lord, like
they just want to hang out, you know.
And they just don't want a situation where it's like you. And that's what sucks even more because as a single mom, I don't know, like if you've been on the apps in your recent singlehood, but I was just probably during like when I was single, 2018 to 2020, 2019 is when I was on the apps. And I attracted a lot of men who didn't have kids. And I would constantly hear shit like, when's your baby daddy have the kids? Come over. And I'm like...
oh my God.
I'm like, bro. I'm
like, both of us, bro.
And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. Because look, I think what really heightens that is they're like, you've got all the wifey shit already locked down. I know you know how to cook. I know you know how to clean. I know and in the case of an emergency, I didn't know how much Tylenol to take. I could call you and you would know because you're a mom. Yeah. So they're like looking for another mama.
You're like, are you taking the liquid or the pills?
Yeah, I'm like, are they capsules? Because that's the extended release. Or are they actual tablets? Because then you need to take one more than the bottle
and
says.
That's what we confuse people. They're like, what the hell?
So I'm like, it's that they're looking for like moms. They're looking for just a good time, hang out, take care of them.
No.
The amount of men who I would literally try to hide, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but like my education. I would try to hide like what I actively did for a living. I was on a date once and this man legit was like, "Are you like a like professional escort or stripper or something?" Because I would not tell him what I did for a living and I never had it on there. You know what I mean? But it's because it's like, you could look me up on my, like, that company I was working at the time, like at their corporate website. Like, you could looked at my LinkedIn or something and be like, this bitch is making money.
Yeah, and I want to hang with her. And you're like, no, you're not about to mess up my status.
I'm saying, like, there's a lot that goes into, like, just a single mom dating. Mm-hmm. Like, I personally know what's on the apps, and so I'm like you. If the relationship that I'm currently in were to end, I would have to meet a man like at church or fucking HEB.
Right? So you're like, oh, he grocery shops. You know what? We can make this work.
Like, hey, and
for
I
real.
saw him pay with a debit card, not a credit card. So this man got money.
So he's got his stuff together. Yeah. For
you
real.
pay for groceries with your actual debit card?
You're doing good.
You're doing good because groceries are hella expensive.
Ooh, so expensive. I know. I'm like, man, that's the worst.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so I don't know. I think it's
well, and I guess what also frustrates me about dating is that not only are we like making time to have our babies covered, we're paying somebody to have our kids covered.
Oh, hell yeah.
To go and see your face.
Girl,
so if we're having
if
we're having a boring time, I just look at my watch and I'm like, wow, I just wasted $50 on a babysitter. And then like we end up splitting the check or whatever, so there's another $30. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I could have saved $80 by staying home with the kids. Like, so I just stopped. I stopped dating.
That's the thing too. Like splitting the check, I just got the ick. And I know a lot. Here's my thing on it, right? Because I've heard men be like, well, you can't expect me to take you out on this nice ass dinner when we first meet and blah, blah, blah. And to an extent, I agree. Because you know what? I never liked dinner as a first date. I feel like for me as a single mom, that's too much pressure.
Arcades and stuff.
Yes.
I was
we can meet for a coffee.
Yeah, a coffee.
Meet for a drink at pinballs.
Yeah, I mean, something
Super
like that.
casual.
Oh, yeah. It has to be for me because they have to see my personality in like real form, and I can't do that at the movie theater. I can't do that at a nice restaurant. And I want you to know, like, this is me and I'm not changing for anybody.
Right. So. Because you don't have, like you said, it's a time suck too. You don't have the time to hide who you are for 3 months and then be like, surprise. And then he's like, met the kids and he's like, this bitch is nuts.
I know. I'm out. And then you're like, well, damn, I just introduced him to my kids for the first time, you know, and then now for what? Now the kids are going to ask about them.
I'm like you. I'm like, this is it. Take it or leave it. Leave it? Okay, cool. No problem.
Sounds good. Just don't keep inboxing me, though.
Right. But if we're going for coffee or we're going to the arcade and have one drink and you ask me to split the bill, I will get up and leave. I'm serious.
You're washing dishes, bro.
No, I will because I'm like, so here's the thing, too. Men are like, I want a traditional, submissive woman. I hear it all the time.
Be in the kitchen, but also work full time. Then, bro, what are you going to do for me?
And that's what I see on the apps. Like, even back a few years ago when I was dating, there were men who's like, I'm looking for a girl who's a homebody, educated. My mama's got to like her. You got to have a degree. You got to be working a job.
What the fuck
I want you to have some babies. And I've been in the same boxer since Tuesday. Like, no.
I'm like, bro, what you got?
Yes, nothing.
Yeah, no.
And that's what's, like, crazy to me is, like, I know for me, myself personally, you want me to be submissive. It's hard as a single mom to put on that hat because I run everything all day.
Oh, very much. It's when people are like, oh, Brittany, just take the help, be submissive, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I don't really have the time. We work on a very consistent schedule, you know, especially during the school year. Like, we wake up by a certain time, get ourselves ready, get our kids ready, get them off to school, us to work, blah, blah, blah. Like, pick them up, practice, dinner. Where are we eating dinner in between there? And then bath time, bedtime. Like, it's just like a constant Monday through Friday. Like, we're spent.
Right.
We don't want to wait till 9:00 at night whenever we're finally sitting down for the first time in the evening and be like, actually, Taco Tuesday sounds great. No, we're ready for bed. Like, we got to wake up at 6 for school tomorrow and we ain't even going to school. Right.
So if you want that, because I agree with you. I even tell, like, my current partner, like, I truly value that relationship because I don't have to do any thinking. Like, I don't. Like, we went to SeaWorld for 4th of July with the kids, and he was like, okay, like I got this and I got that, got everything down, packed up Jed, had all this shit.
To be fair, he's also a single dad.
He's also a single dad.
Okay, I feel like only single dads maybe get that because they're like, they think like a single mom. They're like, okay,
he's
my kids need X, Y, and Z. They need X, they need all this, and then half the time you forget your stuff. You're like, dude, that always happens where I like have everything for the kids, and we get there, and I'm like, wow, I'm glad I brought my sun hat, but at least my kids aren't gonna get sunburned. Just like me coming home just red. Oh yeah, and I'm like, hey, I still had a great time.
Right.
You know?
But
it's so cool though. So he thought about all that stuff.
Always, 100%. But then I know that the version of me who exists with him has never existed with other relationships because those partners unfortunately didn't allow it to. Like when I dated, right? That was always what I get from men. Oh, I really like you, but you just like always got to be so bossy. You got to be in charge. You got to be so masculine. I'm like, I don't want to be. I run my house. I run my family. I have, you too, a flourishing career. I would like for you to lead, but you show me
that I still have to lead.
Have to lead. So I end up resenting you. And then that's usually where I would break it off. I'd be like, oh yeah, I can't do this. I cannot take on another thing where I have to lead. And so, and they resented me too. They didn't want to be with me because after a while they're like, man, she's just bitching at me. And this is like my baby mama, or this is like my real mama. Like, they're just over it too.
Yeah, but like if I wanted 3 kids, I would have had 3 kids. Like,
amen.
If you're going to try to come into like our lives, it needs to be beneficial. Like bring something to our table that would help a day go by like a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. Like him thinking about all that stuff for Sila instead of you having for once not to think about it.
No. Yeah. He had what I would say like we needed to have a good day from 10 to 3 at SeaWorld. And that's like peak time at that place.
I was going to say it's hot too.
It's hot. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, that's what I'm saying. All those men prior who would be like, you're so masculine, blah, blah. If they saw me, they'd be like, who's this bitch?
Yeah, because he lets you be sensitive and like downplay your like hardcore role. Right. You know?
That version of him doesn't exist. And that version of me with him doesn't exist. And I will say that he knows that it has to exist and is okay with it existing outside of our relationship. And when you're dating as a single mom, it's like all or nothing with some of these men. They're like, no, I want you to always be at my beck and call and you should be. He's like, no, I know you got to work, girl. You got 2 kids and you take care of them on your own. You know what I mean?
Make that money.
Yeah, but when we spend time together, like he knows, like I'm not trying to, whenever he's like, well, you know, I was thinking this, and this, I'm like, whatever, like, honey, whatever you want to do. Dude, my ex would have been like,
Did you leave the choice up to him? Shit,
I'm sorry. She's
like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that reminded me. My parents have been together for a really long time, but yesterday they came over to the house and Dad like fixed up the fence pickets that were like broken, and him and my mom put like this shade over my back porch for the dogs and stuff like that and the kids, and we're outside and they're going like, my mom goes, babe, where do you want to go eat lunch? And my dad turns around the van, he goes, what were you thinking? And I'll tell you what I was thinking. And she goes, oh yeah, I was thinking torches. And he goes, babe, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Your dad, how long have they been married? I saw it on Facebook, like 20 something years.
No. My older sister is about to be 36. So they've been married for 37 years.
There you go.
And then together 39 years.
Girl, there you go. He's a smart man. And
he was like, you tell me what you were thinking? And my mom was like, oh my God, it's because there was this TikTok and he did it to his wife and now your dad does it. I'm like, good. Because then
he's like,
he'll eat whatever.
He's like, listen, it don't matter to me, lady.
He's like, I'll eat. I don't care. Yeah.
But I don't want to hear you complain the whole ride home that you hated the food.
You would have rather had a golden shit.
Yeah. That's
so
why I don't like eating seafood on the weekends kind of shit. They're like, no, dude, I get it. And that's what I'm saying. Like those, like your parents, right? Mm-hmm. Like they've been together a long time and I've seen your parents interact. Your dad very much rolls out the red carpet for your mom.
Oh, for real.
Oh, but as it should be. But that's what I'm saying. And then your mom, in turn, your mom is so gentle. Like when we went to Willie's that one day and she was like, I'll take Jen. I'm like, Sherry, I can. She's like, no, you girls have fun.
Like, for example, like I went to Sam's with them. I'll never forget this. And I come around the corner. They're the only two on the aisle. And my dad has like his hands like on my mom's lower back up her shirt. And I was like, ugh. I was just like, picking on them or whatever. And I was like, get a room. And I was just like, but in my head, I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't even stand somebody longer than 10 years. I don't even know. Like, I could imagine 38 years.
Please don't touch me.
No, I'd be like, oh.
Well, see, and so, like, that's another thing, too. Is, like, I know, like, as a single mom, especially because I have a 2-year-old, and Jed is neurodivergent. He's on the spectrum. He constantly is touching me like I'm touched out by the end of the day. And so... And that was, again, an issue, like, in my relationship with both my boys' dads, where they would, like, you don't love me anymore. And I'm like, I do. But if you're the other person, like, if you would allow me to, like, I don't know, like, take a bath by myself, lay in bed for 20 minutes by myself.
Make dinner for once?
Right. Then I would be totally cool with us being more touchy-feely. Mm-hmm. And then, to the point of dating, men in general, when you're dating, I think if you're not choosing the right man, if you're going on the apps and you kind of know what you're getting, they're immediately, like, I had one guy on a first date, like, start rubbing my back, and I looked at him and I was like,
no, sir, we don't do that here.
I knew it was a red flag when he decided to sit by me and not across me. I was like, why are you sitting by me? He was like, I just want to have a good, intimate conversation. We were, like, at, like, a cool, hip bar. So I was like, okay, I kind of get that.
Yeah, but I still like to, like, look you in your eyeballs.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess he wanted us to, like, turn to each other. But then when I realized he was, like, trying to touch my back, I'm like, we've been talking for, like, 3 weeks, so I barely know you. And this is why I would always be like, bitch, this is where I'm going. This is who I'm with. Because I'm like, that man, I immediately, like, but you know what?
It brought the ick.
It brought the ick. And at least I always had the respect to be like, hey, thank you so much for taking me out. Because I know, too, that it takes time and if you're paying money to take me out, but I'm sorry, like, I'm just not going to
This isn't going to work.
It's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to continue it. And the first thing I'd always hear, why? Because you want to be back with your baby daddy? I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I'm like, listen, not even a child kept us together, sir. Don't even go there.
I would just drop that.
Yeah, I'm like, no. And that's why I would also hesitate to tell men that I was a single mom. Because they would always be like, well, what about this? What about the co-parenting situation? Like,
they'd ask a billion questions. Yes. I'm like,
why is he at your house cutting your grass?
Why are you worried about that? Like, if I'm not worried about it, you shouldn't be worried about it. I mean, that's how I see it. You know, these are my kids. This is my house.
Right.
What I do if you end up conforming in there at some point, then okay, we can talk about it at that point. But right now, you do not.
No.
You don't. You have no say-so, sir. So.
Exactly.
And that's how your baby daddy pays you child support, girl. He does errands and
I know
and cuts the grass and shit like that. But I mean, how else is he gonna pay you?
Right. I'm like, he can do those things and us.
And he sees his son at the same time.
And he sees his son at the same time. You know what I mean? And it's not like, that's the thing too. I think is like, there's a lot of assumptions around single moms dating, and that kind of just spoils it for us altogether. Like, we have the assumption of you're probably still messing around with your baby daddy and talking to him when majority of us can't stand that man. Like that thing I sent you the other day where it's like, I want my baby daddy to get married. I want him to have more kids.
So he leaves me alone.
And I'm like, no, we did not work out for a reason. Mm-hmm. Or they're like, you guys are best friends. And they haven't even given me the opportunity to see us in that setting, which obviously 6-7 months into this dating, if we start to feel like things are going somewhere, you'll see how me and him interact and you'll realize it is always just for our child.
I was like, you and him are not friends.
We're not.
Whatsoever. I've seen y'all interact a billion times. We're not friends.
We're not friends, but we are cordial to each other.
Yes, in front of your son.
In front of our son. Yeah. We still have our disagreements. And I feel like, you know, just co-parenting in general, that it's healthier for us to have boundaries. I think that's why Cayman is also successful in his relationship which I love for him, because I'm not over there sending him memes or, haha, look at this. I'll send him a picture of Cam like I did on 4th of July. Hey, look, we're at SeaWorld. And he's like, thumbs up. Great.
Yeah, but it's you sharing a picture.
Right.
You know, that's different.
Of our child, and he's not like, oh, he looks just like you. So, like, I think those get it's very muddled waters, right? And so, and I do that out of respect for Cayman's relationship, because I know I don't want any part of him romantically. So I have to let him move on. You know what I mean? I'm like,
sitting right outside the door.
Probably. He's probably like, bitch. As he watches my child while I do this.
I was like, he's babysitting right now.
But you know what? But that's what I'm saying. But Cayman too.
That guy.
He's told me, like, thank you, because he knows that there was some insecurity when he got first in his relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, because she knew that we interacted quite a bit, and I think for any woman too who's brought into that
insecurity is for sure.
And I'm like, girl, you know, you don't gotta be insecure.
I'm like, shit, not me. I'm like, hey, you do what you do, and if I find out, I just won't talk to you again.
Right.
So,
I mean, here's my thing. I'm like, if he were to cheat on you and I knew, I'd tell you.
I was about to say, I'd tell you too.
I'd tell you 100%.
Straight up.
He knows I have no loyalty
cheating,
to him.
You know?
I'd be like, hey, girl.
I have no loyalty.
Hey, girl, sorry, but I know, and so I think you should know. So we can still be friends. Love you.
I'll hang out and him come over to see him. And they'd be like,
what the fuck? I'd be like, that's why you shouldn't be such a piece of shit.
Get your shit together, Carol.
Get your shit together, Carol. Yeah. So I'm like, but, you know, I think that assumption of like, you guys are best friends, or y'all are still messing around, or the uglier side where it's like, you're just looking for someone to support you and your kids. You're looking for someone to play daddy.
Like, why have I been doing it all on my own for a long time? Like, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. We are looking for company.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, of course, everybody knows, like, who's a parent, a single parent especially, like, you want to get in bed, you know, and talk about what you've been experiencing over, like, the last couple of days, or what's going on with work, or X, Y, and Z with your family. And then I just find myself laying in my bed with my kids, and they're snoring, and I'm just like, oh, well, pillow talk by myself tonight. Yeah. Again, day 582, like...
Shut up. Keeping a calendar.
No.
I mean, and so even too, I think that's why like our mom friendships really flourish, because we know we have like our group chat and stuff.
I we always lean on each other.
We can always lean on each other in those times. But then I know that there's times where you're like, man, I've been reaching out every night. I know I do that to myself. I'm like, I've been reaching out a lot. Like, I know she's got her own shit going on. And that's truly too, like, even the other night when I was going through stuff with Jed's dad, because he's not upholding court orders and it's very difficult to co-parent with him. And my boyfriend was like, I wish there was something I could do. I'm like, you being here so I can vent, like, you listening is the best thing. Like, you don't even realize, like, I just need you here to listen. Yeah. Because yes, I can call my friends, but like,
it's not the same as like somebody who's gonna hold you and like, I mean, I'll hold you if you want me to.
Yeah.
I'll let you cry on my shoulder.
I'll call you baby. I'll be like, I'm sorry, baby.
But we ain't about to be kissing and stuff. No. He can tend to you in a different way that I can.
So I'm just saying, like, that's, we just want company. We want
You wanted
friendship.
the romantic feeling without it being romantic, basically.
Right.
Like, just being held and, like,
just
it's
being
not
comforted.
by your kiddo for once.
My kiddo, my friends, my mom, sister.
Need somebody there, but like you said, it's nice to have somebody who's like, hey, babe, just fall into my arms and just let it all go.
Right.
And you're like, okay. And you finally do. But you feel like if you do it too much to your friends, like, they're like, damn, I don't want to talk to this bitch anymore.
Yeah, it's like, girl,
she's going through too much.
At some point, girl, you gotta get it together.
Are you on meds? Have you gone to therapy lately? Like, yeah.
You're like, my therapist actually recently fired me. You're like, what the fuck?
She told me she can't see me anymore.
I tried emailing her, no response.
Then it came back blocked.
Oh, shit! Not the return email where it's like, this user is like...
It's unavailable. Are you sure?
You're like, maybe I spelled .com wrong. Maybe I put an N instead of an M. Like, no, she blocked you. But no, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you have been able to see a healthy marriage. I think a lot of, too, like, single moms that I know, we grew up in very unhealthy, chaotic homes where the marriage didn't pan out. And a lot of people like say, well, history doesn't necessarily have to repeat itself. You're right.
I'm not trying to, though.
I'm not trying to. But then there's a lot of healing that goes into that and a lot of work which I didn't do the first time around at all. And now I've had to do this time. Like my therapist, I see her once a week. Why? Because I cannot project my own issues from my past relationship into this next one, or it won't work.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on a lot too. Is it like, mine is I always have to be like super independent. Like she calls it hyper independency.
Yeah.
And it's just to where I'm just like, if I ask somebody too many times to do something, I'll just be like, fuck it, and I'll just do it myself. And I'm like, I get it. That's not healthy because I want the help, and then I'm pissed I didn't get the help. But also, I feel like you're one of my kids. If I have to ask for your help,
why am I dating you?
Why are we together? I do not want a third child.
Yep. Oh no, I mean, I'm totally there with you.
Okay, bye. Because I already do it on my own. And if I feel like I have to stress with somebody else who's supposed to be on my side, then I just won't do it.
But this time around, I knew I couldn't be that way.
Yeah, he is a really great guy.
He really, really, truly is. And he's also done the work. He's done a lot of work on his own, which I don't think happens in a lot of...
He should do a lot of work because you're beautiful. And if he gets to hold your arm with his...
I know, but he also... I think it's good that he's done the work because he does deserve love. Like, obviously, I hope that it's with me. But I've also, and this is how I know I've healed, if we don't pan out... I just truly think that that's just the way. I'm just leaving it all to a higher force.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
That's me too.
If we end up together,
I don't force anything.
Nope. If we're together till we're 80, great. I would love that.
Yeah.
If we're traveling in an RV and going from casino to casino, and we're just old and crazy, great. If we don't, then I think the universe has someone better fit for you. And for me.
I love all the things you're saying to me. So we're going to be 80 and we're going to go to the casinos and stuff like that.
Bitch, I want to be unhinged
I'm ready.
when I'm old. I want to be smoking. I don't even smoke. I want to smoke like 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
I want to take tequila shots.
I just want to be at the... That's my time.
My time shines when I'm 80. I'm finally retired.
I'm like, I put in the years. I put in the work.
No, and you cuss out anybody you want. You're like, fuck you and your mom.
Yeah, and you're just old.
You're old, so nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's like, did you see that lady in the wheelchair just tell me to fuck off and my mom? Like,
see now
she's going squirrely again. She's taking your crazy pills today, Grandma.
So if you're down for that with me till you're 80,
hell yeah,
hell yeah. But if you're not, then I'm like, okay, well then we're just, and that's the thing too.
I don't want to waste your time. Don't waste mine.
Don't waste mine.
Yeah, especially with having kids, you cannot waste our time.
No, because
not at all.
Even too, when I was dating, I would always think like, this time I'm investing in you. It's taking away from my school, my work, my friends and family, anything else I could be doing. Like I would be on dates sometimes and these guys were so terrible that I was like, I could have been at the grocery store prepping for the week and I am here.
Oh yeah, especially when you're thinking of like, you're just sitting there and you're thinking of all the different things. Cause I hate when I have to carry the conversation.
Oh God.
Like I'm almost 34 years old this month. Like, please don't ask me my favorite color.
Wait, so you would still carry the conversation?
Oh yeah. I hated, like I've been on a couple dates where I would sit there for over like an hour and a half and like I just carried on the entire conversation.
Oh no, I shut down. I start thinking about
all right, and then I just don't ever text them again.
Nope.
Like
I'll be on the date dead ass just eating and thinking in my head, I should probably do spaghetti on Tuesday. That'll be good.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm on those boring dates, I'm like, damn, I should have did X, Y, and Z. I could have laid the kids clothes out for the school week.
Yeah.
Like instead, I'm not gonna get home till 9 o'clock. Relieve the babysitter, then do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and
no.
then for some times I'd have them be like, so you want to come back to my place? I'm like, sir, it's a Friday night, and my babysitter lives in 30 minutes. No.
Well, and I hate
and
that
I've
too.
known you
when
for
you
2
pay
weeks.
when you pay for a babysitter and you're like, okay, 4 hours max, but then you have to factor in 30 minutes driving there, 30 minutes driving back, because we live in Texas. It's huge. Or even sometimes longer, and not to where I have to be like, nah, you're gonna have to meet close to my spot. Like, you ain't got no kids to lug around, like to worry about to come home to. Like,
no.
I try to get home around 9 o'clock. Like,
and I had a guy once tell me, well, that's just too much for me. And you know what I told him? Okay.
I'm too much for you then.
I just said, I understand.
Yeah.
And that was it. Which is, again, why I couldn't see myself getting back on the apps. I would prefer church or, like, somewhere where my kids are with me, a park or like HEB or Walmart. Because my kids
then you already don't have to break the ice.
Yeah, I'm like, this is it. All this. You see me with the hair in the bun, no makeup, 2 kids, one screaming, the other one's pissed off. That this is. Do you want this?
This is us.
This is us. Do you want this? No. Okay. Hard pass. Good.
Don't waste my time.
Don't waste my time.
Bye. Stay on my DMs.
Yeah, and that's what. But I think too, that's like where a lot of single moms, they find that peace.
Yeah.
And then that peace can almost become dangerous because you get so caught up in having that peace that you, after a while, are going on, before you know it, 2, 3 years single, and you're like, I have so much peace. And then you're robbing yourself, because one day these babies grow up and they leave. And you're robbing yourself of a beautiful experience with a person besides just our friends and family who obviously love us, but another person who romantically can love you and be there for you and be your support. You're robbing yourself of that. And I understand why.
I was about to say, dude, but after like, you know my past. And so like, I just get really, really nervous because I've seen what people are capable of, even if they love you. And I'm like, wow, this is what love is. I don't want this.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
you know, and that's what sucks is like, too, as single moms, we have to also then be on guard for like, is the person that, there's a Chris Rock stand-up where he says, when you're dating someone, you don't meet them, you meet their representative. And he's like, oh, and he talks about women. He's like, her hair isn't that long, she got a weave in it. Her titties ain't that big, she got them done. She ain't that pretty, she got makeup. And I'm like, it's funny, right? I love comedy, I love Chris Rock. But it's also the other side with men. He ain't got it like that. That's a rental. That ain't his car. That's a lease. That home that he brought you to, he's probably staying with roommates.
No, I'm like, they want makeup, hair done, nails done, and they show up in the fucking chonies with holes in them. Bro, what did you do to prepare for today?
But a lot of that, it's not just material. It's also men who are smart enough to know they have to wear an emotional mask to reel you in. And that's what happened to me in my second dating experience is I met Jed's dad and he sent very emotionally available and he was telling me all the things and I want to be here and I accept you with Cam and I want a family and all this stuff until he thought he was 100% in, which is when we found out we were pregnant and that mask came off and I was like, who the hell are you? And that's why now, like even to this day, like could I be in a long-term relationship? I think I could. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been a relationship girly. Like, I've always been like, I want to live my best single life. And then some fucking way, I get in another relationship. I, like, blink, and, like, Facebook's like, congratulations on your relationship. I'm like, what? I'm dating.
And see, me, I'm polar opposite. I'm like, now that I've been single for a while, like, I keep trying to go on dates, and then I find myself, like, canceling and just like, hanging out on the couch.
That's
like,
the dangerous part of the piece. I've talked to single moms who are like, I have to force myself to go to a date.
I have to force myself and be like, okay, fine. Like, they'll be like, I promise you don't even have to pay for anything. I'm like, trust me, I'm not worried about that. It's the effort. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I now, like, because I'm still going through a terrible divorce from me dating an unhealed era, allowing myself to be fooled by an emotional available man mask. And so I'm like, I don't even think I could ever like legally get married again.
Oh, I don't think so either.
There's no way.
Oh gosh.
I just couldn't. I'm traumatized from it. And it sucks to say that. But again, too, that's what I'm saying. Like
the right person would understand your mindset though and might be able to change your mind. And if not, that's okay.
And that's
as long as y'all are on the same page.
I think if after a good amount of time,
yeah,
you've showed me consistency, I've showed you consistency, we're in this 7 years and you're like, ma'am, just fucking marry me. I'm like, okay, maybe. You know what I mean?
Okay, maybe.
But then it's like...
He's like, babe, we're almost 40 now. I'm like, let's go.
You know, when you're dating, you also have men who just move way too fast.
Oh, yeah. Who are like, oh, you know, I could see us being together. You're like, bro, we've been on 2 dates.
The
like,
hobosexuals.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that need
like,
a place to stay.
do you need a place to stay? Yeah, I don't. I've done that before. I don't do that shit again.
Nope.
Learn my lesson.
It's like 3 weeks and they're still on your couch. You're like, do you have a place?
I don't think you have a place to stay. Yeah.
He's like, in your shirts. He's in your shirts. You're like, dude, I don't think you got clothes. Like the guy.
Oh, my kids are about to come home. You gotta go, man. You look like a whole
the one that I'm like, I don't think he has a boat or a car.
Nope.
That guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. Definitely doesn't have a boat. And you know what? At this point, I don't know if he has a car.
Yeah.
I think he's real, but I think he's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And what's crazy is he's probably on the fucking dating sites.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like any other single mom out there. And
be careful for the dating sites, okay, guys?
Yeah, I really do think so. I think it would be nice to even just have like a platform where single moms could get together like in person and like go out for like a happy hour and be like, hey, like my brother-in-law's a really good guy and his, let's just say weird circumstances.
And he's single.
His wife passed, a few years ago and he still has 2 kiddos, but he's a really, really good guy and he's not into the apps. And like, if I had a woman sitting in front of me vouching for another man, I would.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, all right, I'll take at least a date.
I'll take a date.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
And see, the thing with me is that I am very easy to get along with.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've always been told. My bad.
Yeah.
But.
No, I would agree.
I feel like if you can't vibe with me over the course of 45 minutes, you and I did it in here one time for like 3 hours and we weren't even recording yet.
Yeah.
We were like,
Oops.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
We should probably be recording.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like if we can't talk for an hour, like, what are we going to talk about at night whenever we have concerns with stuff? Or, just, babe, how was your day? Like, are you just going to wait for always me to talk? I'm not going to do that.
Because you're wanting basics. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men think that single moms are the ones who want the moon and the stars and buy me a house and help me take care of my kids. And I'm like, all I ask is that you are good to me and my kids when you're around them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if you have children, like, just be inclusive to my kids. Like, obviously your child is your child, but, be inclusive. Don't like make them feel, because I've dated men who've been like, this is my kid. He ate. So I don't know about your kids. And you're like, oh, okay, well, then this is where we're at. And there are men out there who exist. And, I'm sure too, it's the other side as well. But, be a person that I can lean on. Another safe space for me. You know what I mean? Like, be
that's
there.
That's all we want.
That's all we want. We're not the ones who are asking for a ton of shit because we already have it. When men are like, oh yeah, what? So you can move you and your kids in? I'm like, I own my house.
I don't need you, bro.
Outright. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, oh, well, do you need me to pick you up? And I'm like, no, I have a car of the year because I have to, because I'm a single mom, because I have kids who need a reliable vehicle. So no, I thank you, but no. And then I just get the ick from that. That alone is like,
to me, maybe they have, what is that called? They have issues with their self-esteem.
Maybe.
Self-esteem,
it's like
probably.
They want me to make them feel needed. Mm-hmm. And when you're dating a single mom, it'll always be a I want you situation, not a I need you.
I need you. Oh my God, I told somebody that. I was like, no, if I have you around, it's because I want you around, not because I need you around.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to ask you for anything.
Nope. I want you around.
I mean, if you decide to help me and do whatever and do the dishes while I'm tending to then that's totally different, Right. But also to me, I don't introduce anybody to my kids.
Right.
Unless it's been forever, which that still hasn't happened besides my ex.
I made that mistake with John. I introduced him to Cam very early and Cam got attached to him.
It happens, girl.
It happens.
I was about to say, you can't beat yourself up for that, though.
But you got to learn from it.
Yeah. And now you're
now
held off. Yeah.
Yep. I've learned and I'm like, okay, this is what healing looks like. And this is what boundaries look like. I had no boundaries when I was first dating after my first marriage ended.
Yeah.
Like, people always think that boundaries are like this person who's just like, wow, I'm crazy and I'm going to say whatever the fuck. No, boundaries can also be the person who doesn't understand their own self-worth and just how valuable and worthy that they are, that they allow people to take from them indefinitely. Mm-hmm. They allow the disrespect continuously. And I would do that all the time.
That's my fault. I continuously just am like, oh no, things will change. Oh, they'll get better. Oh, look, they said sorry. Oh, and then I'm just like, I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over it.
Yep. That's why if now a boundary is broken, I'll voice it and we can work through it if I'm dating you. And if you're willing to do that, great. But if you continuously show me you cannot respect my boundaries and I'm respecting yours, then we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Sorry. I wish it was better. I wish it was different.
But you suck.
Yeah. I love how I'm like, I wish things were different. You're like, yeah, so you suck. I'm like, listen, I can drink a Coke while you drink a margarita and still have a good time.
Well, I could drink a soda too. We love us some sodies.
Hell yeah. You got any sodas? If
Always.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you're our friends, you know. We're always like, you got sodas? You got sodies?
Well, we went to Courtney's and we were all disappointed. You were like,
A ginger
I guess
ale.
I'll take the ginger ale.
I was like, shit, if this is all you got, I get.
I'm like, girl, they have water. She's like, nah.
No, I don't want water. I want a soda.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, what did you want to talk about next episode? Just to give everybody a little heads up.
I think it'll be really good because since we talked about moms who are, navigating the dating world and how we have to do everything on our own, a lot of that is us and how we navigate our finances too.
Yeah, the way we spend our money.
The way we spend our money. Like, you not only have to invest your time really considerately when you're a single mom, you also have to be very money-minded.
I was about to say, because we pay for the groceries the full time, after school care so that you can work.
Extracurriculars.
Yeah, like I was having to work a job during the school year to where I was able to do my real estate in the evenings and on the weekends.
Right.
But of course, a lot of those shifts are very limited because my kids have to be to school by 7:20 and then they get out by 3. Like, so, so that means I can't show up till 8 and I have to be off by 2:40, And
Right.
so a lot of places are just like, I'm not going to waste my time with those hours. Nope. And you're like, damn, I'm trying to hustle and make money anywhere I can.
Yep.
And yeah, so that sounds great.
I think that'll be really good for us. And even too, we're not by any means financial experts, but I think a lot of our career base,
I was like,
real
we could dip
estate
into how I can help with real estate, how she can help you out with insurances to cut down some of those costs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So until next time then.
Yes.
And if you go on a date this week, okay, hold on. I got to say this.
I was about to say, we should probably give the moms hope at some point because we're just like,
here's the thing.
Do not do it.
If someone invites you out, you are worthy to go on a date. And if you're in Brittany's situation,
laughing.
Get yourself off the murder mystery. Get yourself off the couch. Get yourself together and go.
Yeah, I just became a couch potato. Like,
right.
I was like, nah.
Right. I would say, go.
But I did today.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You're any mom out there who's dating and as a single mom, you are worthy of having that love, that relationship experience if you so choose.
Yeah.
Right? And if you are a mom like me who's navigating a relationship during a divorce, post-divorce, don't be afraid to allow that vulnerability to love again.
10 out of 10, don't recommend. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, we'll see if this episode ages well.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Everything's fine.
It's okay.
Thank you guys again.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time.